every insight fuels a more informed society. It shapes the policies that govern significant institutions such as education, health, economic development, and countless other sectors. This research symposium serves multiple essential functions, therefore. One, resuscitating the appetite for research in Antigua and Barbuda, inspiring scholars to pursue intellectual curiosity with vigor, encouraging the use of research, their data and their findings in policy making and strategic decision making. Three, providing local researchers with a platform therewith to share their research findings. Four, creating a dynamic network of local researchers that fosters collaboration, encouragement, and the cumulative power of knowledge. And five, establishing a repository for local research in Antigua and Barbuda, thereby preserving the invaluable work conducted by our researchers for our people, impacting our society. Research, therefore, is not just simply collecting data. It is a tool for change. It is a catalyst for transformation and a guide for effective governance. Without research, policies risk being based on assumptions rather than evidence. This weakens their potential for having any important impact. Sound policy demands data-driven solutions, ensuring that decisions are informed, strategic, and rooted in the reality of our communities. From education reform to economic strategy, from environmental sustainability to public health advancements, research provides the foundation upon which decisions can be measured, refined, and executed. This research symposium stands as a legacy of knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, since 2021, this symposium has published 35 research studies spanning diverse fields, each adding to the ever-growing body of knowledge in Antigua and Barbuda. In this 2025 iteration, 10 new research products or projects, further enriching our collective understanding and advancing the academic legacy of our nation. This year's 10 research presentations will cover areas such as artificial intelligence, ICT in education, college and vocational readiness, educational improvement, as well as government and citizenship. The 2025 researchers, and I invite them to hear as you hear your names called. They are Dr. Najeli Williams-Buffon, Mr. Ramit Maskell, Dr. Beverly Allen, Dr. Vivian Nicholas, Mr. Ajonte Fraser, Dr. Desiree Antonio, Dr. Andrew Hunt, Mrs. Ville Buckley, Dr. Renee Smith, and Dr. Karen Josiah. This symposium now is really not just an annual event. It is a movement, ladies and gentlemen. It is an institution of scholarship, and it is a commitment to intellectual progression. As we embark on today's discussions, as well as those over the next 2 sessions, let us celebrate the pursuit of knowledge, recognize the power of research, and let us champion its role in policy creation. Researchers, may your findings serve as the blueprints for a better future, and may this symposium continue to ignite passion for discovery in the years ahead. May this symposium continue to be a springboard for transformative action. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Camacho, for that inspiring welcome. Let us give a warm welcome to our distinguished speaker, Claire Brown Esquire, Director of Education, who will bring remarks on behalf of the Ministry of Education. Let us welcome Mr. Claire Brown.
I presume Ms. Mason is trying to set me up. Esteemed colleagues, distinguished guests, passionate researchers, members of the education fraternity, constituents of the wider public. It is a distinct pleasure to join in welcoming you to the opening ceremony of the 5th installment of the Ministry of Education's Research Symposium, under the compelling theme, Meaningful Research, Plan It, Execute It, Share It, Transforming Our World through research-led initiatives. Today, we affirm a shared commitment, a commitment to research that does not just live in documents or presentation, but breathes life into the very systems, structures, and souls of our communities, institutions, and our everyday practices. Meaningful research is not simply about discovery. It is about impact. It is about what we do with what we know. An instructive example from the sphere of education may serve to substantiate the point. Our policy directions, our school improvement strategies, our classroom practices, and our national vision for education must all be informed, reformed, and transformed by the evidence we generate. The 8 strategic imperatives enshrined in our National Education Sector Plan, the ambitions of the OECS Education Sector Strategy, and the ideals of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. None of these, not one of these, will be realized through insight alone. They will be realized through intention and action. Let us then applaud those among us and executed their research with rigor, but have also shared it openly. And you can clap. That is what I mean by let us applaud. Your commitment to the research process, often quiet, often long, and often sacrificial, has noticed. We thank you for your grit, your persistence, and your belief in the power of knowledge to move systems and shift societies. To Mrs. Cadian Camacho and the planning committee of this 5th research, your dedication has gifted us a platform that conveys voices and visions of our researchers. You have organized not just an event, but a space for transformation. And we pause, rightly so, to offer heartfelt tribute to the founding committee led by Dr. Desiree Antonio. The early days of this symposium were paved with long hours spirited debates, and unwavering belief in its potential. The template we use today still carries the blueprint of your vision. We are grateful. Your foundation mark. And for that, we offer our deepest public appreciation. Colleagues, I was only given 2 minutes, and so I leave you with this. You see, the chair took all the time. I leave you with this. If you are bold enough to plan it, disciplined enough to execute it, and generous enough to share it, then surely we are powerful enough to transform our world through the very research that springs from the relentless pursuit of knowledge, our willingness to question the unknown, and our commitment to turning insight into meaningful change. May this symposium then inspire new thinking, forge new partnerships, and ignite that transmutes our world. Have a truly transformative. Appreciate your attention.
Director, your valuable insight has certainly sparked some interesting thoughts. Thank you once again. At this time, we'd like to show our appreciation. There are a few persons we'd like to recognize at this time. We'd like to invite you, so I'm going to call Mrs. Camacho to come forward so we could present you with a small token. Hear your name, please come forward. So, Director, I invite you to come right back up so we could show our appreciation. Okay, then on this side. Thank you, Director. Please. Dr. Buffon, please step forward. At this time, we'd like to invite past presenters, and the first person that we'll call on this list is Dr. Rene Young Romero. Thank you, one and all. Can we just put our hands together? As we embark on this journey of discovery over the next coming days, I encourage you to engage actively, question thoughtfully, and connect meaningfully. Let's seize this opportunity to ignite new ideas and continue to contribute and collective pursuit of knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I now invite Ms. Alicia Knowles, Education Officer with responsibility for education broadcasting, to introduce the 2025 moderators of the 5th edition of the MoE Research Symposium. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. It is my distinct honor to introduce to you our 2 moderators for the 2025 iteration of the Ministry of Education Research Symposium. Mr. Kadeem Joseph is presently the political and project officer with the British High Commission in Antigua and Barbuda. He joins a network of similar officers across the region who work closely with resident British commissioners in the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office of the British government. During his pursuit of a career in the field of medicine, he attained undergraduate degrees in health science and aspires to continue in the field of health promotion, support, and policy. Joseph has over 15 years of media experience where he has worked as a news and show producer, journalist, and radio host, focusing on youth programming and health issues as Health Observer Limited. He is also a holder of diplomas in French and diplomatic studies. While his social developmental interests have been diverse, his focus remains on youth, health, and gender advocacy. As a UN woman-trained advocate, Joseph has also contributed to several nonprofit organizations, including the Heart and Stroke Foundation, Junior Chambers International, and has promoted voluntary blood donations with the Red Cross group, Club Life. Creatively, he's a spoken word artist, sings and acts, and has won multiple awards for creative writing. He was also awarded the Young Journalist National Youth Award in 2016. This political officer is an entrepreneur and owns the bakery Fancy Cakes. With his vast experience in communications and speech writing, he has written for and coached delegates in dramatic presentations and trained competitors in speech and interview techniques. Nationally, Joseph has worked extensively as an events host and has contributed to several national independence events, including the National Youth Rally. Our second moderator for this year's symposium is Ms. Sharifa George. Sharifa George is the Digital Media Manager of the Antigua and Barbuda Tourism Authority. Ms. George was formerly a public relations professional employed at the Antigua Public Utilities Authority, APUA, for 7 years before transitioning to digital marketing. She holds a Bachelor of Arts degree with honors in journalism from the Caribbean School of Media and Communications, CARIMAC, UWI Mona in Jamaica, and a Master of Science degree with distinction in strategic marketing from the University of Sussex in the UK. Sharifa is an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, CIM, also in the UK. She's a 2021 Chevening Scholar, Marketing and Communications Chairperson of the Antigua Lions Club, a sister, aunt, daughter, and proud Antiguan. Sharifa is passionate about the field of marketing and believes that the only boundaries that exist are the ones we set for ourselves, and encourages others to push past those limits. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to our moderators. We have one with us this morning, Mr. Kadeem Joseph, and I'm going to ask Ms. George to please stand as we acknowledge her. Thank you and welcome.
Good morning. Protocols previously established, observed. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you, esteemed members of the audience, for showing your support for the work of the researchers and the outstanding team at the Ministry of Education for their commitment to research and the research symposium that they host every single year. I think that deserves a round of applause. As stated earlier, I am Sharifa George, moderator for this segment, and it is my privilege to present to you young researcher Ramik Maskell. Ramik is a first-form student at the Antigua Grammar School and has been known for his curiosity and passion for discovery learning. He impressed educators with his outstanding research skills during the Grade 6 National Assessment. At only 11 years old, former students of the Potters Primary School earned national acclaim in 2024 by winning the inaugural Student Researcher of the Year award at the National Youth Awards in Antigua and Barbuda. Nicknamed Ram Ram, Meek, and Boy, I'm sure there's a good story behind that, Rameek is driven by a love for math, coding, and problem solving. He earned a scholarship to the Antigua Grammar School, continuing his family legacy, and aspires to become a mechanical engineer while pursuing his passion for meaningful learning. Today, Rameek presents his research in the subject area of government and citizenship, with focus on Sir George Walter, former Premier of Antigua and Barbuda in the 1970s. So Rameek, the floor is yours.
Good morning. My name is Rameek Maskell. I am a first-form student of the Antigua Grammar School and a former student of the Potters Primary School. Today I will be making a presentation on my Grade 6 Social Studies SBA on government and citizenship. The outline of today's presentation includes the introduction, methodology, national heroes of Antigua and Barbuda, and finally, I will present my findings. The purpose of this is what it means to be a good citizen. The information was collected through research online, school textbooks, and the interviewing of a prominent member in my community. Some of the tasks carried out in the completion of this SBA included the creation and labeling of an area map, identifying all 6 national heroes, and focusing on one, showing how they contributed to our country. For this SBA, Sir George Walter was chosen. A diagram showing the 3 arms of government was produced, accompanied by an explanation of each branch and a picture. To conclude, Methoding information for this SBA, research was done on the different arms of government. An interview with Mr. Winston Baldwin Spencer, a prominent member in my community, former Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, and trade unionist, was conducted to explore his contributions and get his understanding of what makes a good citizen. Research was conducted on the national heroes of Antigua and Barbuda, and Sir George Walter was highlighted to depict characteristics of a good citizen. Findings. There are 3 arms of government found in research. These are the executive, legislative, and judicial branch of Antigua and Barbuda falls under the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the courts make up the judicial branch of government. The job of the legislative branch is to make laws that govern the country, to be carried out by the executive branch. The executive branch carries out policies set by Parliament and to check the day-to-day running of the country. The judicial branch of government ensures that the laws of the country are interpreted and applied fairly. This is done through the court system, which decides if a person is innocent or guilty when accused of breaking the law. On this slide, you can see the comic strip I created for my SBA to present my interview with Mr. Winston Baldwin Spencer. Mr. Spencer articulates that one way of becoming a citizen is by birth. The others are through descent, naturalization, and investment. On this slide, Mr. Spencer informs that involved in sports, music, and any activity that brings us together in a positive way within our communities. These activities make us well-rounded citizens. Antigua and Barbuda has 6 national heroes. These individuals have contributed greatly to our society, and they are all identified as very good citizens of our country. Sir Vere Cornwall Bird, the first Premier of Antigua and Barbuda, the first Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, and affectionately known as Papa Bird, the father of the nation. Prince Class, or King Court, was a slave who was credited with organizing the 1736 rebellion that sought to free all the slaves on the island. Dame Georgina Nellie Robinson, who founded the TOR Memorial High School when she was just 18, is regarded as a pioneer in education. Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards. Next slide, please. Sir Isaac Vivian Alexander Richards is regarded as one of the best to ever play the sport of cricket. Sir Lester Bryant Bird, former Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, who served the people of Antigua and Barbuda for over 45 years. And last, but by no means the least, Sir George Herbert Walter, who I chose to focus on in greater detail. Sir George Herbert Walter was the second Premier of the nation of Antigua and Barbuda from 1971 to 1970, head of the Progressive Labour Movement. He served the trade union and political movement for more than 40 years. His contributions to the nation have been described as in their own class. Under his leadership, the Social Security Board was established. He established the Antigua Public Utilities Authority and oversaw 1974 Limited. The expansion of the secondary school programs to include the Otters Comprehensive School in 1974. He created the expansion of the secondary school programs to include the building of the Clare Hall Secondary School in 1971 and the Otters Comprehensive School in 1974. He created the labor code that was copied in every Caribbean territory. The Representation of the People's Act and the founding of the Antigua and Barbuda Development Bank are all the work of his PLM government. During the process of conducting this SBA, I learned more about the branches of government and their functions. I also had the opportunity to visit Parliament, the Office of the Prime Minister, and the High Court. I found some interesting facts about our 6 national heroes, which make them quite extraordinary Antiguans and Barbudans. I also learned the values of being a good citizen. I was 10 years old, and I learned that I can start by getting involved with youth groups, such as the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, to make a positive impact on my community. I learned how my neighbor, Mr. Spencer,